whole spirit, demon, I don't know, possession just came over his whole body.
The Tune Squad.
Storytime is not for kids. Like, I'm just gonna say that it's not for kids. I'm gonna be talking about adult candy. But I will be blowing up balloons because that's for me. So I was 22. I was working downtown. One day I was downtown. Something like I just got off or something like that. Yeah, I had just gotten off, and so I see this gentleman, and he is, I mean, I know he was older than me, like, anyway, if you don't know me, I like older men, whatever. So, he was older than me, obviously, but that was nothing new. And he was tall, dark, honey, like, long coat, like he was giving Candyman vibes. Like, I haven't seen the new one, so don't get in my comments talking about the new one, but I'm gonna see it. So, but yeah, fun fact, I had a little crush on Candyman, like the original one. He was kind of hot. So he reminded me of Candyman, like, you know, had the voice, like he wasn't as tall or had as deep of a voice, but he just had the underlining swag of Candyman. Come to find out, he was definitely a government worker, like, good, nice government agency. And yeah, that's what it was nice, okay? He drove nice cars, different cars. His all-around car was an Impala. So ghetto. He gave a little ghetto, but you know, he was yeah. And I do want to say that I'm telling this story not to like dig into my past or like to reflect on the past really, but I have been doing a lot of reflecting. My birthday is coming up October 2nd. So my birthday is right around the corner. Big house in the suburbs. Big house in the suburbs. Nice. Okay. So we started talking or whatever. We went on some like little whatever kind of dates. I would never say that there weren't red flags. Never gonna say that. But we went on some stuff that I would never let fly today from the beginning when I let fly at the time. So we went on some dates, like some little around the way restaurants, you know, like some seafood restaurants and some, you know, Maryland is known for these types of restaurants. I'm from the DMV, if you don't know. So works in DC, lives in the suburbs. Yeah, we go to these suburban restaurants that maybe have like live music. So it was still a good time. Like I said, I'm 22, you know, so I want to go. I want to see live music or whatever seafood place. It was cool for me. Everything was kind of fine. He would like bring me stuff. Like he got me a nice Louis bag. It was a vintage one, but nice. Okay, and I wanted it because I like vintage stuff. Like that's just me. So he was always bringing me stuff. Would you want something? Like he would bring me, I'll say for instance, one day I was in the house and this was his house because I would spend a lot of time in his house. Like I said, big old house in the suburbs, like whatever. I'm 22. I can do whatever I want. Not really. So he would bring me like those big black trash bags full of potato chips, like just full of potato chips. Okay. And so I'm like, where did you even get something like this? Like, how did you get a whole, like, big shipping supply worth of chips? Like, where'd this come from? Just weird, you know? Then it was like the stuff started coming more frequently. So I started getting, like, more purses. But the purses were just, like, they were real purses. But they didn't have, like, they didn't come in a bag. Like, they didn't, like, oh, my God. They did not come in a bag. Like they were just like the bag. Like he would just be like, here go the bag, mom. Like, here, I brought you this today. Like, here you go. Boom. So it was always bringing me stuff, like always bringing. Like I said, 22. At this time, I'm cocktail serving. So I told y'all, like, I'm a casino girl, you know what I'm saying? So I like stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting money working at the casino. I got someone that big house in the suburbs, very nice to me, you know what I'm saying? Met his mom. When I say fell in love with his mother, I mean literally fell in love with his mother. Like, we all clicked, you know what I'm saying? We all clicked up. Like, he did meet my people or whatever, and it was good vibes when we did meet. But then, like, after a while, I started to realize that there were like some underlining anger kind of issues. And so I really kind of noticed something. I know one day we were at his house, and his mom, she had some cleaning people come over to clean the house. And so I'm like, why does his mom, you know what I'm saying, like, getting the cleaning people to come to his house? Like, that's so weird. Like, why you not getting the cleaning people to come to the house? Anyway, whatever. And it was just small stuff that I would notice about the house that he didn't keep up with. That was just kind of like, you have a home. Like, why would you not keep up with the home? You know, just little small things that a 22-year-old could look over because you have a whole house. She goes into this like little mild speech about how her son changed and someone did this to her son, and I'm like, what you talking about? All I know is he might smoke a little, you know, a little tree, you know, every now and then. Like, he not that big of a tree smoker, as far as I'm concerned, you know, at the time. So it's like, I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am. Like, I'm just like, okay. Like, because, you know, some older people, they look at cannabis as just an overall, just a drug. Like, you might as well put it on the level as what I'm going to get to eventually, you know? So I'm thinking that's where she's coming from. And so I'm like, he just smoked a little tree, but, you know, he work his job. He, you know what I'm saying? Take care of whatever around is need to be taken care of. So eventually it got to the point, like I said, I would start seeing a little more mild, like, anger, underlining anger issues with things. I would start to ask, like, for, like, food. Like, okay, can we go to eat or something like that? Because, like I said, I'm 22. I'm getting money. I'm used to, like, before we met, I was hanging out with my friends, like, restaurant industry friends and stuff like that. So we were always hitting the town, always brunch, Sunday fun day. Like, what's up? Like, we were at the move, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it was just kind of like all of a sudden, now I'm not going anywhere. Like, I got to ask you to bring me food kind of thing, which is like, I didn't have to feel as subjected, like, to where I was as I did, but for some odd reason I did, you know? It was just like, can you bring me food kind of thing. Like, I was being held hostage, but I wasn't. Like, trust me, I wasn't. Nothing like that, okay? Nothing like that. So he would start leaving and not, like, would not come back. Like, just say we come in the house around 7 o'clock, right? After everybody's done. I was in school too at this time. So I done went to school. I done went to work. He done went to work. We done checked on his mom because his mom, she said that they told me that she was sick. Okay. They didn't tell me what she had, how severe it was, anything like that. So I knew that something was going on with her. But I would see him bring her, like, fast food. And so I'm like, you shouldn't give her that. Like, if she's sick, like, why are you giving her KFC? By the time I think probably 8:30, 9 o'clock would come around, he done, you hungry? So set me up with whatever food that I'm going to have. Give me whatever supplies that I may want. If it's a million chips, if it's a new purse, if it's roll-ups, like, whatever it is. Like, he made sure I had it, you know, put on whatever movie I wanted to watch, and was like, all right, I'll see you later. And so I'm like, well, where are you going? Like, where are you going? And would be gone. Like, I mean, would not come back until probably like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Of course, by this time I'm asleep because I gotta go to school, I gotta go to work, whatever, what have you, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like coming in at 3-4 o'clock. Not just coming in at 3-4 o'clock in the morning either. I'm talking about beat up, like, would have bruises, would have just scars different places. it may help somebody else. Some people, you know, they have all these videos talking about red flags and what red flags are, and sometimes you just don't know them. And I'm not trying to make this like a lesson kind of video or nothing. It's really a story time, but if you need to pick up on some stuff, just pick it up. Just pick up on it. You know what I'm saying? So, bruises everywhere. There was one time he got to the house and lost keys. Like, I don't even know how he showed up. Like, lost whole sets of keys at this point. Like, after that, there was some woman that came beating down the door talking about you got somebody here and your mom's worried about you and this, that. And I'm like, we just saw his mother. Like, what's going on? Like, it got crazy. It got so crazy. And the crazier it got, I could tell it was like the sicker his mom was getting. Really crazy. Really crazy. I'm talking about jail. Has called me from a prison cell. Car impounded. I'm not gonna say who got the car out, but yeah, it got to the point where his mom, like I said, she was the first person to say something, put like kind of a bug in my ear. He starts, of course, talking about marriage eventually, and whatever, what have you. And I'm just like, marriage? Like, I mean, I guess, like, are we gonna get there? Like, we get there kind of thing, whatever. Like, cause I'm 22, wasn't really pressing it or stressing it. If we do, we do. We don't, whatever. His mom is basically getting to a point where she's like, I don't think you should talk to him. And I'm like, yo mama though? We all know that Beyonce song, Me, Myself, and I. Even your mama tried to warn me on the low. And people would be like, oh, your mother not loyal. People, mother out here not loyal. No, people know crazy lies. Even your mama tried to warn me on the low. You know what I'm saying? She tried to get me into like the school system, to like just like teachers aid, stuff like that, because I was cocktail serving. But that was my thing when I was 22. That was my thing. Okay, you couldn't tell me nothing or nothing else about it. Like I said, I was in school, but I like getting to the money, to be honest with you. So once his mother kind of warned me about some stuff, I was like, okay, this is real. And that's, like I said, the sicker I saw her get. We got into an incident where he was like going off on some older lady at the grocery store, and I told him that wasn't okay. Like, I'm not really trying to get this into no like DV conversation or anything like that. Like, this, we're not going that deep. But yeah, and I kind of was like, hey, you wowed out on the lady, and we got into an altercation, crashed the car. Yeah, so that was another part of it. So at this time, I know something is just not right. Something is just not right. Like, you're wildin'. Something is just not right, okay? And all these instances may not be happening in chronological order, but they happened, okay? And so I remember one day I came into the house, like we would enter into the basement. I arrived and the house smells like a warehouse. Like, when I say it smells like in a factory that's supplying chemicals to wash the streets of New York. I don't know. Like, it smelled like an odor-filled chemical factory. Like, do not enter, hazmat should be on the door, X-Lord, yuck should be y'all remember the little yuck stickers? I'm gonna insert it. Yuck should be on the door, whatever. Like, I was like, what is that smell? Oh my God. Like, I had never experienced anything like that. I was like, what is that? He like, oh, what you talking about? What you talking about? Like, and for the longest time, I would see like little oil bottles around, like how you get the oils from the like Muslims or just the people that sell oils. You know what I'm saying? The smell good oils, just oil bottles, just always around. But I thought that you know what I'm saying, we in our area, that's pretty common when people put on oils, especially when they smoke. He smoked cigarettes too, which I didn't find that out until later either. But oh honey, I'm kind of missing a valuable part of this. So before we get to this hitting the fan, like, I have always been a vetter. Like, I'm always nosy. I'm always going to look you up. I'm always going to do these things, right? So I noticed that his mom was calling him by a certain name. He was going by a different name. So I was like, this is kind of weird. So I started like looking into like papers and stuff. I don't care. I was going through drawers and stuff. I was looking through medical papers, all of that stuff. I looked at all the medications. That's a tip. If you see somebody with a whole medicine cabinet, look at what medicine they take in there. I don't care. Somebody may call me nosy. That's invasion privacy. I don't care. Look at their medicines and see what they're taking, because they could be crazy. They could be crazy. Taking crazy medicines. So yeah, if you get that little inkling as to you need to start looking through stuff. At this point, I'm looking through medical papers. I'm looking at your medicine. I'm seeing what you're taking. It was just like some high blood pressure, but I had to make sure. So I'm still like, why you taking high blood pressure medicine when you just told me you was like 32? You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking you like 32. I'm 22, whatever. That was, hey, shoot me. It's normal for me. So I'm like, something not right. So I start seeing stuff blacked out, like dates blacked out on medical papers, dates blacked out. So I'm like, why this stuff blacked out? So I'm putting it to the light and I'm seeing 7. I'm like, 197. 197. I know my parents was born in like 73. So if you any 7 anything right there, you like, you know what I'm saying? Not 32. Like my dude, you just not. I'm like, what's going on here? What's up with this? Like, so let me hurry up and just get through this video. So that was a suspicion long before. So I find out on my own that he's basically lying about his age to me this entire time. Okay. So back to where I was about his mom and how sick she was getting. And yeah. So one day we are going through our regular routine of we're going to get dressed, whatever. We're going to stop by his mom's house to check on her. We're going to drive to the metro station. We're going to go our separate ways. I'm going to go to school. He's going to go to work. We're going to meet back up at whatever station we met back up at, and then so on and so forth with our day. This particular day, we go to his mom's house. He opens up the garage. I rush into, as soon as he like opens up the garage, I rush into the garage, and she's sitting on the couch where we left her. Like where we left her, sitting in the same spot. So I'm like, Mom, what's good? Like, oh snap, she is no longer with us. Yes, I found my ex's mother deceased. And that was pretty darn traumatic, okay? Pretty darn traumatic for me, and definitely traumatic for him, okay? So one day we were at the house, like back at his house, and I'm looking for him. Like, I'm looking for him high and low like a cat. You know how people lose their cats in their house and they just looking around the house like, where is it? Hey, whatever. So I'm just looking for him. I'm like, I know he here. The car right here. He walked to the store. Like, I know he here. So I go to the backyard because I know he would always have 2 barns. Like, he has 2 barns in his backyard. So I know he would go in his barn. It was kind of like his man cave, so to speak. We go, and I go to the barn. He's not in the barn. I hear something ruffling behind the barn. I look behind the barn, and all I see is a cigarette and a lighter, right? And I'm just like, what the fuck is this cigarette and this lighter? Like, what's up? Like, why you hitting the cigarette behind the barn? Like, you want to hit the cigarette, why you just didn't hit the cigarette? You know what I'm saying? When I saw him hit this cigarette, because it was like a pause, like I was like caught like a deer in headlights kind of thing. When I saw him like just inhale the cigarette, I could just see something change in his whole demeanor. It was like just straight up zoomed out, okay? And I've never seen anything like that. Like, I've never seen someone take drugs before in my life, okay? Like I said, I've seen somebody, hit a little cannabis. I never even seen somebody put something in their cannabis. I've never seen anybody snort anything. I might have seen somebody pop a pill. That's because, one time I was diagnosed some prescription medicine because I was in a car accident. So, like I said, I might have seen somebody pop a mild pill, but while I was in college, but that was not even like a Molly. I never seen somebody pop a Molly. I never seen somebody do anything like at this point. So I'm just like, what is going on here? And then he hits like the ultimate just slump. And it's just like from that on zombie, just straight zombie mode. After the zombie mode, he kicks into this high gear, like in the jacuzzi tub, like swimming around the jacuzzi tub, wilding out, like, hey, what we doing? What we doing? Wilding out, like, oh, what you, just bammed out, like, just bammed out, okay? Now, if you aren't familiar with this adult candy of choice, this adult candy is what has Smokey on Friday running after the little Hispanic after he had hit, remember he had hit the what was supposed to be cannabis in the car with the Hispanic, and they had him running after the car. Like, this is that, okay? In where I'm from, like I said, I'm from the DMV. Where I'm from, they call it the dipper. the dipper, okay? Also known as water, okay? Boat, angel dust, PCP. Like, yeah, these are the names and the different terms for this drug, okay, that he was on and that I went a while. When I say very functioning, I told you, government job, multiple cars, nice house, like so come to find out, like those purses and stuff, like he would just get them. It seemed like, from my idea, he probably was just stealing them from his co-workers and just bringing them home to me. He was getting these big bags of chips from junkies. Like, it was just like, what in the world? These spouts of anger, energy were because he was a whole angel dusty, y'all. A whole angel dusty. I don't even know, like, oh my gosh. So basically how this ended was, like I said, his mom passed. We had the funeral for his mom. And one of my cousins actually showed up to the funeral and was asking me so many questions. It was like, yeah, I heard a lot about her son. Like, everybody was looking at me like I was crazy. Like, what are you doing here? Why would you be dealing with someone like this? His age really came out to me when we were like kind of doing, his family had came up and we were doing like funeral. I wasn't a part of funeral planning. I just was there, just looking at the pictures kind of thing. Because, when you talk to somebody for so long, you want to look at their pictures, like their old pictures, their new pictures. Like, I'm looking at his college pictures. It's like he graduated the end of 90s. I was asking questions like, how, if you're this age, how did you, graduate? And so his family looking like, I heard one of his cousins do that. She hit the on me. And I was like, and I left. I left the house. I left. This story actually is one story leading to like a whole chain reaction of traumatic events in my life. But this story came with a lot of, I didn't know if I was going to cry, if I was going to laugh. Like I said, I'm not emotional about it anymore, but just being in that situation, it was pretty scary. It was pretty darn scary, okay? And I was traumatized. Like, I could not smell a chemical. Like, I didn't want to smell Clorox bleach, okay? I did not want a Newport next to me. I did not want a Newport next to me. Like, I completely just abandoned the whole situation. Not that it didn't show up to my doorstep, literally, but we worked that out. We eventually worked that out. Had mixtapes. a little home studio. He used to rap, and I get it was off some Jocelyn Hernandez, like when she was
Well, like I do it, you just rap. You go ahead, you do what you do. Fuck what they say. You speak to them. You talk to the people. You get high. I know you do. You're real quiet, but you a boss. We know what you do.
It was off that, like